Hey everybody, this is your professor David Britt, coming to you today from a hotel room in Basel, Switzerland. Um, for many years, I've been teaching at CSU for many years. I was known as the traveling professor, and so a lot of it is whenever I'm on vacation or doing other things, I have a thought process that I go through, and regardless of where that I am, I'll shoot a video so that I don't miss the idea. And so today I was thinking about faith integration. One of the cornerstones of education at Charleston Southern University is integrating faith in learning, leading, and serving. And it's something that I'm very, very proud of, that I work for a university who gives me the opportunity to do that. Now, we all know that that's different for different disciplines. I mean, you'll have some in a degree program. If this is an undergraduate degree for you, you're going to have some religion classes, Old Testament, New Testament. If this is a graduate program, you're probably not going to have those type things. But the way to integrate faith is one of those widely discussed challenges. As a matter of fact, we have that every year at our faculty kickoff meetings. And so, just overall, I want to talk to you about my philosophy on that in the way that I develop it from a course perspective. Um, and so the goal at CSU, again, it's a blessing for us as faculty to be able to do that. And it's different for each professor and it's different for each discipline. Now, my background is in corporate business. It's not in higher education, it's not in Christian studies. So I approach this just a little bit differently. And so when I think about faith integration, I think of the foundation. The foundation for me is all truth is God's truth, regardless of the topic or discipline that's there. And so when I hear people say the phrase "my truth," it makes my skin crawl, to be honest with you. It doesn't fly with me. If you have to say something like that, say "my opinion," because all truth is God's truth. I had a pastor one time who started a new sermon series, and he started Genesis 1:1, and he said, okay, read the scripture in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And then he stopped and he said, if you believe this scripture reading right now, the rest of the Bible, the rest of your life is going to be easy. It's going to be a piece of cake. Um, and while that's not totally true, the message there is that if you can believe that foundational thing, that God created the heavens and the earth, and that answers a whole lot of questions you may have down the road. So, depending on the class that you have and that you may be having with me right now, you may see some comments from me. If this is, for example, a critical thinking class, um, we'll have questions in there that'll talk about how do you process faith? What is the challenge between faith and ideas in those? And that'll be some way that I talk about faith integration. In traditional business courses, depending on the discipline, whether it's a marketing course or a general management course, ethical issues, how do you treat people? How do you bring faith into an area that does not allow you to do that in a management type of respect? So we'll have conversations like that, and then writing and reading and research. I teach a course in that in the graduate program. So speaking and searching for real truth and not opinions. I mean, we're all today focused on our opinion is this, but what does truth say? And so it's the focus on truth. And so that's really important. So those will be some of the things that we may talk about depending on the class that you're in. The one thing that's going to be consistent throughout, however, is excellence. I believe that God expects us to be excellent in our area of giftedness. I believe that the Lord's gifted us in specific areas. Thank heavens, not all in the same area, right? Um, but he expects us to use what he's gifted us with to be excellent. And that includes our vocation. That includes your vocation. Um, and so from that perspective, if you're in one of my classes, I expect your very best. because the good Lord has blessed you to be able to do that. And how do you do that? Well, you meet due dates, okay? You have high quality work. You don't phone it in. You don't cheat. You don't use AI and say you don't, okay? And so you should therefore, and I should therefore expect your very, very best. Now, this is a two-way street, right? Because if I'm expecting your very best, you've got to get my very best. And how am I going to attempt to show you my very, very best? Well, first of all, I do this every Monday morning throughout the length of the course. Every Monday morning, I go into the course roster and I pray for every single student specifically in that class. Now, the great thing is I get to know you better in the class, and we've communicated, and you've done your introductions, and then maybe you have some other things that you've shared with me, which I encourage you to share as much as you feel comfortable sharing. Uh, I'll get to know you better. And so as I'm praying through the course roster every Monday morning, I'll know some things about you, and I'll be able to to pray for you in those situations. So just know that. Just know on Monday mornings, unless there's something else happens that I can't do it on Monday, that on Monday morning you've got a professor praying for you. Now, if you want to pay that forward and want to pray for me, man, I'd love that too. So, but just know on Monday mornings, throughout my class, I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to respond, okay? If you contact me, you'll hear back from me in a nanosecond. I mean, the goal's always been, you're going to hear back from the professor in 24 hours. Most of the time, you'll hear back from me and it's going to be very, very quick. Now, if I'm traveling, for example, and I'm 7 hours ahead and you contact me at midnight Eastern time, it's going to be a little, challenging sometimes. But if you contact me, you can count on hearing back from me in a nanosecond, okay? Um, and so the next one is timely. Most of the work that we have in this course is due on Sunday nights. And if something's due on Sunday nights and you've submitted it by Sunday night, I will usually have it graded by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, okay? Um, Part of me and integrating faith is exhibiting excellence in how I respond to you, how I grade things, how quickly I grade things. I will tell faculty members a lot because I've done this for a long time. Some agree with me and some don't. But I'll say, I don't care how many scriptures you put in your course. If you don't get back to a student in a timely manner, if you wait for a long time to grade their stuff, I don't care how many you have in there, you're not exhibiting, good faith integration in what you're doing because faith is about excellence as well. Um, so again, if something's due on Sunday, you'll usually have it back to you in the grade book by Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, just because I'm timely that way doesn't mean I'm foolhardy. I mean, I'm very, very detailed, which is the next thing I'll talk about. I read every single thing you write, okay? I don't take shortcuts. So I am detailed in my margin replies back to you. Some courses I actually do a follow my mouse video where you'll see me going through your paper. I don't do that in all courses, I do it in some. So I don't want you to take any shortcuts either. So if I'm going to go the trouble of writing all my comments and all my thoughts because I've read every single word you've written down in the right-hand margins of your paper, I want you to take the time to go back through and read them, all right? So make sure that we have an agreement on that commitment there. And then struggles. I fully understand that life gets in the way, all right? This is particularly true for working adult students. Work-life balance issues are real. I mean, if you are working and you are going back to school and you have kids that you have to take to soccer practice and everything else, I understand how the challenges can get in the way with that. What I want you to do is I want to make sure that you reach out to me when these happen. When these happen, not at the end of the week after you've already gone through all those things, because I can possibly help. I mean, grace is a wonderful thing to demonstrate. You can't take advantage of grace, though. But that's all part, to me, of being able to have an understanding, to be able to integrate faith as we go through. So just know all these things are going on in the background, um, And all these things, I believe, demonstrate and can demonstrate faith integration in a college course. And I want you to test me on these. I want you to challenge me on these as we go forward. All right. I look forward to having you in the class, and God bless you. If you need me for anything, make sure you reach out. All right. Take care.